What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
James Shu, how are you?
.com.
Before we get into anything, excuse my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather. The weather has been very kind to me, but today we are here for a really, really big movie.
Yes, the only movies that
ironically, a really, really big movie.
Huge.
Because it's called Ant-Man.
By the way,
And
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I love what Marvel's done. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We started with Iron Man in what's been a decade.
Oh yeah, I feel like over a decade,
you know?
Yeah.
And they've given us like, what, 12, 13, some odd films. And now we have our newest origin, first story. Not the continuation of the Iron Mans, the Avengers, the Captain Americas.
The last film of Phase 2.
Yes, the last one right before we're going to Phase 3. Here we are with Paul Rudd, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man is a character where I think interesting things could happen in this movie, because Ant-Man, though, in my review I even said it, like, it's not a very well-known character. And on paper, the plot seems kind of silly. It is a silly concept, and I know my comic book fans are going to be like, oh no, everyone knows Ant-Man. Well, of course you do, but like my mother has no idea what Ant-Man is, opposed to Captain America or Iron Man. And though it looks silly, it seems like they're going about it smart. Well, at least, what was it, in 2006, so nearly a decade ago, when they hired Edgar Wright to write and develop Ant-Man. Even though he left the project, you know, he's still credited as one of the screenwriters in this movie and executive producer. So I'm hoping that the style that they're going to go at is really going to embrace Ant-Man, similar to Guardians of the Galaxy did. It was a group of characters that not many people knew very well, and it ended up being one of the most successful movies and one of a lot of people's favorites. So I'm hoping that they're able to capture and redo that. I love Paul Rudd. I think he's one of the most genuine guys. I was able to talk to him at CinemaCon. Super, super nice. And, you know, I reviewed Avengers Age of Ultron fairly well, but I have not thought about it once since it's came out. I almost kind of just forgotten it's happened. I don't know how you feel about that movie, but it didn't leave a really impactful movie. So like, this feels like hopefully this is a Marvel movie that'll get me through the next year.
Yeah, actually, I've seen Mad Max six times in the theater.
6 now?
Six,
Oh
or 6, right? Or 5?
5.
I've seen it 5 times in theater. Unfortunately, it's no more. So I won't be able to see it again in the theater. But Age of Ultron 2, I watched it at one time, and I actually thought it was kind of long.
Yeah.
But I never thought about it again. But I still liked it.
Yeah,
and that's not a diss
too.
on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or that's not a diss on the movie. I enjoyed it, but the truth is, all these Marvel films, I'm into it. There's been a lot of people saying that they're scared about when is going to be the downfall of Marvel. When is going to be the first one that's bad, and another one bad, and then another one bad. And with Edgar Wright, a lot of people are mad that he left. Now Peyton Reed took over, or has taken over, the helm in the director's chair.
And I don't know if you're very familiar with Peyton Reed and his work, but Peyton Reed's the guy who brings us movies like The Breakup, like Bring It On, like Yes Man. So to hear his name, not trying to discredit him, because a lot of people like those movies. Me personally, I don't, but it seems like he takes some of the more of the tackier comedy. So to have him in charge of this project really makes me kind of like, I'm really interested to see what he does here, and hopefully he's able to deliver and elevate that tacky, cheesy comedy into a movie that needs to be funny and entertaining and, you know, good enough to be in the MCU.
Love it. How long's the movie tonight?
It's me 2 hours.
All right, I'm pumped. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we just got out of Ant-Man. I'm gonna do a spoilers review within this review too. So just a heads up, I'm gonna be doing a spoilers review in this. There can be spoilers said, meaning I'm gonna be saying things that if you haven't seen this movie, you may not want to watch it.
Well, let's do a non-spoiler part and then a spoiler part.
Don't know if I can do that, but I'm gonna say this. Kevin Feige and the Disney Marvel team, they know exactly what they want to get out of this universe. They know exactly what they're doing, and they keep on doing this over and over and over again. For me, the movie was fan-freaking-tastic. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. The imagination, I felt like I was brought back to my late 80s or 90s with Honey, I Shrunk My Kids, mixed in with Ocean's 11. So I had the shrinking, I had the heist. And I'm a big fan of heist films. I love that, you know, you do that illegal stuff. I love that stuff. Loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun, this movie. And it would have been interesting to see Edgar Wright's version of this film, because he did the other superhero film.
He did Scott Pilgrim vs.
Thank
World.
you. He did that one, or video game.
Yeah.
He did the video game movie. So with his effects putting into this, that would have been interesting. But their biggest argument was, look, this is where we want the film to go. And when Edgar Wright wrote his Ant-Man, it wasn't a part of the MCU. It was just his own standalone. This is what it is. And then they didn't know of the huge success that they were going to have with the MCU. So they're like, you know what? It needs to fit into this mold, and this is exactly where we want it to fit. You need to follow this train, or else you can't. We're not going to have you as the director.
But they ended up keeping the majority of Wright's script. Just had Rudd and Adam McKay, who's a very famous, comedian director, just do some additions and a little bit adjusting. So I was really glad to hear that.
Still would have been interesting to see where it gone.
Absolutely.
It would have not looked like that.
That's a movie I would still love to see.
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked like that. But for me, love the film. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun, and I just love how they intertwine the MCU. And I guess we'll talk about the spoilers in a minute. But when it came to all down the characters, Paul Rudd was awesome. Evangeline Lilly, and then Michael Douglas obviously did a great job. And it's crazy how they're just getting all these heavy hitters from the 70s and 80s and the 90s. They had the Michael Douglas and the Winter Soldier. We had
Robert
Redford. So they get the old school, all the serious actors in here. I just love what they're doing with it, I mean, this wasn't my favorite MCU movie. Was this one of my favorite solo?
You said it's not your favorite or one of your favorites?
It wasn't one of my favorites, or it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of my. I don't know. It was great. A lot of fun.
I think it's to give my review, I really enjoyed this movie as well. I think I do find it on the top half. Of the Marvel movies. I think this movie is definitely one of their better ones because it does that kind of. It does have that same Guardians of the Galaxy feel in the sense that it's a little bit offbeat. This one feels like this and Guardians of the Galaxy feel like the really two cool cousins of the MCU. They're kind of in their own little place, and they're fun and they're exciting and they're fresh. I think after watching the Avengers: Age of Ultron, I think that we all enjoyed it, but it still just kind of felt like, all right, we've seen this before, and we needed something fresh again. And when we sat over there. For Guardians of the Galaxy, we said Marvel needs to change things up and give us something fresh and different, and they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and they did it again here with this movie. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I was surprised by how hilarious it was. I found myself laughing so much, which makes me quickly want to talk about Michael Pena, who's just a great, great actor. I mean, he's done some of the greatest dramatic roles and hilarious roles, and he's just so great in this movie. Paul Rudd is just so charismatic, charming, and funny and witty that he's hard not to like. And this whole movie really kind of falls on his shoulders, and he's able to deliver. Michael Douglas and
Evangeline Lilly.
Thank you. They're good, but one of my criticisms, if any, which aren't very strong, is just that I felt their relationship kind of didn't have the father-daughter relationship didn't have much for me, and like the whole figuring out what happened to her mother and that scene when it's revealed, I was just like, come on, you as smart as you are, you should have been able to put two and two together some time ago. But I would say the only kind of issue I did have with the movie was by an actor that I really, really enjoy usually, Corey Stoll.
House of Cards, amazing.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was nominated for an Emmy for that role, and absolutely spectacular. And he's definitely becoming more and more popular. Obviously, we're seeing him a lot more stuff, but I know comic books are the world for over-the-top villains, but this is one I could just not buy. He was very hard to digest, and some scenes I just felt it was so awkward and so out of place. But other than that, that's not a harsh criticism. I really did enjoy this movie, and I think it's one of the most fun experiences you guys will have in the movie theater this year.
I'm probably gonna get destroyed right here, but that's one of the problems with the Marvel villains.
Excuse me.
There's not one memorable, other than Loki, who they really turned into an anti-hero.
Yeah.
At this point. They're just not memorable versus the DC. Even if you just look at Suicide Squad's trailer, even if you don't have no respect for Joker.
It's pretty much if you just look at Batman villains.
Yeah, it's the Rogues Gallery from
Batman. Yeah,
it's not even comparable.
Yeah, no,
anyway.
But I mean, I liked Ultron. Unfortunately, it's kind of true now that you think about it. I'm trying to think about the villains we've been through. Besides Loki, no one's really made a strong enough impact. Like
most people can't.
If Marvel was like, "Hey, we're gonna make." Yeah, it's very true, But if they were like, hey, we're going to make a Marvel villains movie, I don't think anyone would be really excited. But Corey Stoll, to me, though he was awesome when he was actually in the suit, and the action sequences that took place were really, really fun, I just had trouble buying his dialogue and some of the times how he would act. Am I alone in that?
No.
Did you not feel that way? You felt that way?
No, to be honest, it was just another Marvel villain. And They do such a great job. That's not. I guess that's a diss. I guess, but
I mean,
I enjoyed the film.
He's no Mandarin, right?
you know what I mean? You can't do that right.
Hey.
Like one of your only characters, right? You can't do that right.
Yeah, Whiplash.
Let's do some spoilers, yeah.
Okay.
Spoilers from this point on, okay? So
Yes.
don't be all tripping out about
Go watch the movie and then come back and you can watch the rest of this video.
The original Hank Pym was like an alcoholic and like beat his wife, so they changed that. And then
Smart.
yeah, well, obviously it's Disney, which was and that's I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying that I liked how she was the Wasp, and then she had to sacrifice, kill herself. Maybe she's not dead.
Yes,
Maybe
we have
yeah,
that.
maybe she's not dead because of the ending of the movie. And then at the very, very ending, there's 2 end scenes. Number 1, when we see friggin' Evangeline Lilly's about to become the Wasp, and that Wasp outfit looks sexy, bro. Just saying. Cannot wait to see her and Ant-Man out of nowhere in Civil War. I loved how they just mentioned Spider-Man
Yes.
at the very end. Loved that. And then I loved the ending with Winter Soldier.
Yes.
So Bucky, Captain America, and Falcon found Winter
Bucky,
Soldier,
yep.
which is cool. And then the Falcon, I don't even know if this is a spoiler, but I just didn't want to say anything because in the commercial they showed us
They
that,
do show Falcon.
and I know they did that because they're like, crap, we need people to get excited
Yeah.
for this movie. So I wish they didn't give that away. I wish I would have watched this not knowing that
100%
existed.
agreed.
I wish that happened. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was cool, and I can't wait to see Paul Rudd, Falcon, and Captain America all on the same screen. And I know that Falcon's gonna be embarrassed in front of Captain America.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. And yeah, but the movie is a lot of fun. What about you?
That whole scene ended up being one of my favorite scenes of the movie, and I think everybody's just kind of having the idea of revealing it to us that the what was it, a warehouse that they were going to infiltrate ends up being the Avengers lair, and that's a great scene. Falcon is a great person to use because he's not one of the
He's the cheapest one.
he is the newest Avenger.
Well, he's the cheapest one.
And he's the cheapest
No
one.
disrespect to Anthony Mackie.
No. Sam, but I mean, people are starting to get used to Sam Wilson. He is part of the new Avengers. At least that's what we're led to believe at the very end of the last Avengers. And it works because if he's kicking Captain America or Iron Man's butt, I mean, it's hard for us to digest. Falcon, I could believe.
Yeah, because he's human too.
Well, before you said the endings, we were talking about something, and now I can't remember what it was.
You know what made me sad?
What?
When Anthony died.
Oh, Anthony. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
Anthony. Is that? Oh, sorry, Anthony. That made me sad.
I heard some people say he just lost the wing, but I thought he died too.
Can't.
He's dead.
Yeah,
That's how you
I
took
think
it. I took it as he died.
I took it as he passed away too.
And I was like, oh man.
The movie actually has a surprising amount of heart. I think, the relationship between Rudd and his daughter is very genuine, very real. That last scene is kind of nice. Besides, like, the pet ant, I thought that was a bit much. That was like, because everyone says this is very Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't think that.
That was
I'm
literally
sorry.
Honey, I Shrunk the
That
Kids.
was literally Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
You know that.
Like
that
that
was
big old
literally.
ant in front of there. Yeah.
And instead of, when she gave him the snack, instead of it being a big donut, like,
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, she just, no, that was straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But there's really great action sequences
And you
throughout
can't
this
keep
movie.
that as a pet, just
yeah,
saying.
yeah, that's really weird. But
No,
then again, he
scariest-
could communicate with them. It's good protection. But Thomas the Train makes a great cameo in this
funny.
movie. I really liked a lot.
It's a small world. It's
yeah,
a small, that's a
just
small
the
world.
just the simple transformation of watching Paul Rudd change from small to big and big to small is just entertaining in itself. I think the co-stars in the movie is really funny. What were we talking about before the final endings? Oh man, I don't
Villains?
remember now. Huh?
Villains?
Oh no, that was after that. But nonetheless, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I'm trying to think of other things I wanted to say about it.
Evangeline Lilly, man.
She was really good.
I
I'm
really
excited
liked her
to see her.
haircut.
I really like their
Is
dynamic.
she about to be a wasp?
Um, The heist scene was very, very fun.
I love the heist.
Yeah, this movie's just a really good time. It's a movie that will make you laugh. It's got some heart in it. Paul Rudd is just so genuine. And I've never seen a movie where I don't like him in, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. So I think most people will really, really enjoy this movie.
Something really interesting that the MCU is doing too is we have all these comic book movies. Then they're like, crap, we got to change it up. We've had like 12 of these.
Yeah.
Then they give us a political thriller with Winter Soldier, completely different tone. And then now they give us a heist film. So it's awesome how they're just taking comic book movies and putting them into different genres. It's awesome.
Now I think, though, as trusting as I've been with the MCU for the past however long, I think we have a really big challenge in
Keeping it fresh.
Civil War. in that movie. Though I have the most utmost faith in that movie, and that's probably one of my most anticipated movie is in the future. I think
2016?
Yes.
Not bigger than Batman v Superman. Just saying.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. What?
What do you mean and beat it? You mean box office wise or enjoyment wise?
Enjoyment and box office. I don't think there's any way that they'll beat Batman v Superman. I don't think.
Personally, I agree with you. I'm gonna assume that, but I think that Civil War could be the movie of movies from Marvel. But I think that's also why there's a lot of pressure. I mean, there's talk of introducing Spider-Man, which pretty much seems to be beyond confirmed. There's talk of all these different heroes in this movie. They're calling it Avengers 2.5. Some people are just calling it Avengers 2 because that when people cared for Age of Ultron. And I think now is a really, really great time. It's also, I believe, the first film in Phase 3, correct? Or one of the first films in Phase 3, if not the first. So I think there's a lot of kind of things riding on here where we've gotten a lot of different tones, but this movie really, really needs to be like, we are Marvel, we're going to dominate. Because if not, as you said, this is when DC's going to go, this is our house now.
Dude, I don't, there's no way in 2016 I cannot see it. Anyway.
Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman.
We digress.
It's going to be a very, very interesting year next year.
Oh, I cannot wait.
It's going to be a great year in film.
But anyway, this film
Hopefully.
though, on a serious note, watch it. You'll love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Ant-Man,
it's a
too
great
much
movie.
fun.
Yeah, stay for both. Well, obviously we're talking about the credits, but very fun. Very, very great time.
Can't wait to see Evangeline Lilly in that wasp suit, man.
Woo! It'll be fun.
Can't wait.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited just to see him interact with everyone else. Because he's kind of, the smart aleck. So him, interrupting with everyone else will be very fun.
Yeah, I liked how at the end they kissed. Because I'm lame like that.
Yeah, Michael Douglas's reaction.
I enjoyed that.
I'm all for it. I loved it. You loved it. Go check it out.
Hanging
Ant-Man.
loose.
You could read my review to see all the full in-depth thing. And as a writer and as someone who writes reviews, I always try to update my knowledge and try to get better at what I'm doing. So I ended up switching my format a little bit on some of my reviews. So I'd love for you guys to go check it out and read it and see if you enjoy it.
On ChaseCinema.com/
Ant-Man.
That way you can get the full-on review written by
Myself.
Jacob R.
Toronto.
For those of us that don't know, 7 days from today we're watching
Pixels. And something else. Oh, and Southpaw.
Oh, I'm not watching Pixels. I am watching Southpaw. I'm all in that movie. I'm gonna see the bankrupted 50 Cent, and of course Mr. Jake Gyllenhaal, who gave us last year Nightcrawler. Woo!
My favorite movie.
Good, yeah, say hallelujah. Woo! And then if you haven't seen our review for today's movie, if you haven't Trainwreck, it's already online. YouTube.com/
Amy Schumer, Bill
Chasing
Hader.
Cinema. You can check out that review, or else we'll be back here in 7 days with Chasing Cinema and anything else.
Make sure to join us next week. If not, you can always join us the following week when Vacation returns to theaters as well as Mission Impossible.
And Chasing Cinema is known as the Film Lovers
website.